All right. We are live. Welcome back, everyone. J Bone here for Smash This Podcast. I had to go live right after I watched this because I didn't want to forget anything. I forget half the stuff I watch anyway. So we already got a couple chatters in here. That's awesome to see because I know it's late at night and I apologize about that. But like I said, legit got done with my last thing and I was like, okay, I don't want to wait too long. I know I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow with stuff. I'm going to watch this now and get it out of the way. Sup, Ronnie? How you doing, man? Too sweet. Hakeem's back in here. What's up? Thank you guys for joining me. Um, and while I'm talking about this, let me know if you um let me know if you're, watching these along with me. Give me your thoughts on them, right or wrong. Did you enjoy them? Do you feel like something was missing? Let me know your thoughts. If you're watching this live or if you're watching after the fact, because I know I'm gonna get more probably thoughts on this tomorrow because I'm doing this so late at night. It's screaming up on one here. Jeez Louise, past my bedtime. All right, here we go. Ronnie says, I remember watching the Brawl for All when I was a kid. That's interesting that you say that because I didn't start watching wrestling until a couple years after this, like late 90s, when a friend of mine, I've talked about this a couple times, a friend of mine from work was like, yeah, you should watch, the Monday Night Wars and blah, 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 blah. And I watched wrestling when I was a little kid, but then I got away from it in high school. And then late 90s, creeping up to 2000, I got back into it again, but all my favorites were in WCW. So I had zero interest of what was going on in WWF at the time. I was all WCW. And so I asked my wife, she was done with her crafts for the day and she was chilling on the couch with me. And I said, babe, you watched these. You watched the WWF back then, didn't you then? And she's like, yeah. I was like, so you must be mildly interested in this. She goes, yeah. I said, okay. All right. So I'm not the only one. Okay. That's good to know. So she watched this live. I never knew what the hell the Brawl for All was. I'm like, what is this Brawl for All? When they made the list of episodes for this was the one that stuck out like Brawl for All. What is that? And I start hearing little whispers, people talking about it leading up to this, like, oh yeah, this is the next one. Oh, and then people are starting to chatter about it. And I'm like, a shoot fight. I'm like, shoot fight. I'm like, they wouldn't have a shoot fight. I had no clue. Okay, I had no clue. So I'm just watching this with my jaw dropped throughout the whole thing. Like, they did what? Vince did what? And when I say Vince, I'm not blaming. Okay, I understand that Russo was the head writer at the time. I get that. And he had to feed Vinnie Mac all these ideas. And you can blame Vince Russo for the concept. That's understandable. But it's like kids get in trouble and it's then say, oh, well, it's the parents' fault. Well, yeah, it's the parents' fault. Who's the parent in this situation? Who's running the freaking company? Do you notice that Vince McMahon throughout the entire freaking episode was never blamed? And there's all this Cornette Vince Russo shit. people joke about people being underneath Vince McMahon's desk. I think Jim Cornette spent the most time down there, according to this story. Dear God. And I'm probably going to get blocked too. Whatever. I really don't give a shit. His opinion, like I said, I'll say this a million times on here. His opinions when it comes to stuff like this are great. They're great because he's a wealth of information. I get that. It's lovely. It is. But damn, and this whole history between him and Russo, how he's so furious at Russo. Vince could have looked at Russo. McMahon could have looked at Russo anytime throughout this and been like, yeah, this was a bad idea. Let's scrap this. No, he kept it going. He kept it going. Oh my God. I could not believe that throughout this entire thing, people were like, people are getting injured. People's careers are getting shortened. People's careers were ending. And they just kept going with this. Oh my God. I couldn't believe. All right, I'm gonna jump into chat here real quick. Hakeem says, I was 3 years old when the Brawl for All happened. I imagine you don't remember much of it then, because I don't imagine too many 2 or 3 year olds or whatever. Oh, you were two. Okay, 2 or 3. Bart Gunn got screwed in the end. Yeah, he totally did. But you know what? There was some, like they had some conversations and stuff, and Bart seems at peace with the whole thing. And even with Russo, that was interesting. In the aftermath, the after show, that was interesting. Keep in mind, this whole thing existed for a reason to see JBL get knocked the fuck out. Oh my God. I laughed so hard. If you followed my podcast for a long time, you know I legit don't like JBL. It's like, so you're supposed to cheer the good guys, you're supposed to boo the bad guys. I legit can't stand JBL. To this day, can't stand him. He just sounds like a pompous ass to me 24/7. Like, he talks like this all the time, like he knows every freaking thing in the world. It's a horrible JBL imitation, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, ever since he beat Eddie Guerrero for the championship and he came up with that dun, 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 the millionaire, cut his hair, came out with a cowboy hat and a suit, hated him. Had this unbelievable title run on SmackDown back then in was it the mid 2000s, whatever it was, after he beat Eddie, whatever year it was, he beat Eddie right after, his phenomenal win against Angle. And I'm like, oh, Eddie's going to go on for a long time as champ. And then JBL, boom, beat him like right afterwards. And then JBL went on forever and beat everybody, even Taker, even badass biker Taker back then, the American badass, whatever, you get it. I could not stand JBL. I couldn't stand him. So the fact that this whole thing started with a conversation about Russo wanting to see JBL's ass get kicked for real because he couldn't stand his attitude cracked me up. I was like, yeah. So when it came to the part of the show and JBL, I'm probably going to get blocked from JBL too, whatever, fuck him. I was like, he's like, yeah, man, and JBL got knocked the F out by, what was it? Was it by Bart? Because I know this is skipping way towards the end and I'm not going to go through every single fight here. Yeah, Bart versus Bradshaw at the end, and Bradshaw got knocked out. I was like, yeah. The look on Bradshaw's face. I know it was bad. I get that, but I was like, yeah, get him. And the more I'm watching this, I'm like, why hasn't another one like this taken place? And I know the legit answer to that. I know it's metaphorical. We know Vince. Vince does crazy shit all the time. People will drop shit in his lap. Oh, that's good shit. Why not, Vince? Come on. Why don't you throw another billion down the toilet of your company? Oh, you know how many people watching this special were just salivating at the concept of yeah, let's do, Vince could do it again, bring in a bunch of UFC guys and have a Brawl for All 2 in 2021 and set up the whole thing and have half of Mania on one night be the Brawl for All and the other night just like the legit card. Oh my God. It would be the biggest. Dead Punk Gage is in here. What is up, dude? It existed to have Steve Williams win. Yeah, Dr. Death Steve Williams, man. And he was such a legit I don't know a lot about him. I liked him back in the day, but he was such a legit badass from what they were saying. And they thought he was going to take this whole thing. He was heavily promoted and he just got destroyed. It's so sad. You have to remember that the UFC had just started a few years earlier and it was starting to grow in popularity, but in a very underground kind of way. Yeah, it wasn't a big Vegas thing. It was just like a rebellious kind of, it was like a legit underground fight that they were trying to put on like pay-per-view. And it wasn't doing good at the time. Not like it is now. Right now, it's a billion-dollar thing. Russo says Vince McMahon could have pulled the plug at any time. Yeah, exactly. It's demented as throughout the whole episode. Oh my God. He just shows how hate towards someone can just warp your brain. Like he was so like I said, he was so angry at Russo. You could be angry at Russo for a bad idea all you want. Whatever. Who's running the show? Who's the parent? I'm going to say that throughout this. No one, Hope you don't get blocked. Whatever. I was joking with Kalisto, after Enzo beat him, and I said, hey, Kalisto, go take a holiday. Kalisto's such a snowflake, he blocked me. And I wasn't like telling him he sucked or his mom sucked or his family sucked. It was nothing personal. It was a harmless, hey, you lost, take a holiday. Enzo's on top now. It was as simple as that. Blocked me. Damn. Don't have a social media. Don't have a social media. Is it Bruce Pritchard? That's my right. Godfather was pretty good. Yeah, I didn't realize. Like I saw his ladder when he came back in 2000 with Gold Dust, and there was a couple others that came back at the same time. Kurt Hennig, and then there was one other one. It was 4 guys that came back in the Rumble, and they all got rehired at the same time. Godfather was one of them. And I always thought it was fun, and I knew Papa Shango, but I never like imagined like what kind of a badass he was. I'm learning now. It's like it's crazy. And it got worse because they ended up changing the rules as the Brawl for All progressed. Oh yeah, because they were talking about, they're like, oh, I guess that's a takedown. Is that a takedown? Are we doing takedowns? They had no clue what they were doing. It was all on the fly. I felt bad for, JR and, Jerry the King. Jerry the King's just waiting for puppies. And how the hell did you call this? Wow, he got knocked out. Is that okay? Is that what we're doing? Is that all right? Is that how we booked this? I don't know how we booked this. Okay. It's hilarious. Cornette hates Russo so much that he admitted multiple times that he wants to live long enough to take a number 1 and number 2 on Russo's grave. Goddamn. Yeah, man, that's messed up. I mean, that's sick. Just put him in a padded room someplace. Goddamn. There's one thing Bart Gunn and Joey Styles have in common. They both knocked out JBL. True story. Joey Styles did? Oh, was that at that ECW show? It was one of the first reunion ones, the WWF ones. I know there was a lot of heat on JBL at those for whatever. I forget what it was. I hope JBL doesn't block you. Dude, I hate him. I don't care. When they brought him back for commentary for was it night 2 of WrestleMania, I was like, oh no. Horrible. Horrible. I left my ass out with JBL got knocked out. When you were 2? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's you could tell they didn't want Bart to win to the point where they sacrificed a feel good moment for Bart just because he wasn't somebody's boy. Yeah, man, the whole butterbean thing messed up. It's a shame what happened to the XFL this year. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, this whole thing, and I was actually following each game. I had to catch up on a couple games, but I was following the St. Louis Battlehawks, and they were doing pretty good. They weren't the worst. Because they're like the only Midwest guys that I could like identify with. It's a shame. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to be back next year. It's kind of hard to say. I heard the NFL is already picking up some of the guys, so I mean, there's some kind of follow through success with it. We don't know when we're going to get the NFL back. We got to get through this mess first, and that ain't going to be next week. I'm going to be stuck here for a while, and that sucks. I don't want to talk about it because it just bums me out. The next Brawl for All should be a 24/7 championship. Oh, it becomes a shoot thing, right? Oh my god. Oh, then I don't want anything to happen to R-Truth. I like R-Truth, but he lost it now, so it could be like a shoot fight between Gronk and what's his face. Smarter way to introduce Dr. Death they could have gone with. It wasn't the fault. They could have been Williams running and beat random people and choke them out. Oh, that's an idea. Bart Gunn should have at least made it to a mid Carter after winning the tournament. Yeah, I mean, they could have followed through with the whole Steve Austin thing. Not that Steve Austin would have wanted a shoot fight with him, but then you earn a chance at the championship, in a real match. At least I think that's kind of what they were doing. It's hard to tell if they wanted to shoot fight with Austin or what. Fun fact, Ken Shamrock was offered a chance to take part in Brawl for All, but he refused. Smart guy. Well, because he's the world's dangerous man. Because he knew he was going to kill someone. Do you want that on your shoulders? No. Do you want that on your mind? No. JBL busted a blue meanie for real, and Steve Richards got payback for meanie. Good. Yeah, there was some crazy messed up stuff that went on during that ECW stuff back then. I think it was during Tribute to the Troops episode 2008 when Styles knocked out JBL. Oh, damn. Oh, that's messed up. All right, so we'll talk about this a little bit. I'll talk about a couple of the other things in here. I love you guys interacting with me this so late. That's great. I appreciate it. Main people they talked to throughout this was Russo, Jim Cornette, JR. JR more for opinions, didn't have a real booking thing here going on. JBL was not a part of this. They probably asked him, but he's such a WWE guy. He probably refused. Who knows? Bart Gunn, pretty stand up for him to be, in this throughout this whole thing. Absolutely. Godfather, man, what a trip, man. What an absolute trip, man. To like sit and crack a beer with him and talk about the good old days, man. I'd love to hear some stories with him. Jeez Louise. Draws, I always heard about Draws, but I never knew what happened. I'm glad I watched this. I mean, it's, you hear about stuff from back then, but it's always little pieces. You hear names related to stories, and oh yeah, and then there was this guy, but then he got hurt and went away. Well, how? And there's no follow up. There's no conversation. When they showed Draws in that wheelchair, I was like, oh my God, did he end up in a wheelchair from this? And then they talks about how after this he was in they included his his uh his match with D'Lo Brown where, they didn't fault each other. They could have been like, yeah, that guy killed me. No, it was, somebody slipped or somebody did something. I mean, that's wrestling. But that's the risk you take, you know? It's so sad, 20 some years later, and the guy's still in the wheelchair and he looks like he's in pretty rough shape. But I mean, he took part in this. He seems to he seemed to be in a pretty good mood talking about it. He didn't shit on anyone, which is amazing, you know? But that's what I've talked about so many times in different conversations on here. The importance of forgiveness, because it can kill you from the inside out. It can legit kill you. And I know how hard that is, but you look throughout this entire thing. There's an element of forgiveness through the whole thing, except for Cornette and Russo. And I gotta say, speaking of Russo, I felt kind of bad for him in the after special. If you guys watched it, I mean, he looks legit uncomfortable throughout it. Like he wants to say something at some point, but then isn't offered the chance to. Of course, it's all heavily edited, but it's just a chance for some because everybody's recorded in different locations throughout this, except the Benoit one where there's a bunch of them together that were there for David Benoit, which I thought was incredibly sweet of them to like figure that out and do that for him because they knew that was going to be tough. That was going to be tough for him. Chava was there and his aunt was there. Um, but like in a special like this, Bart's at his house, Chuck's at his club, or Charles Wright, Godfather's at his club, and everyone's at their own place, but Russo actually at the end of all this seemed like he had like he cleared the air with Bart. And that's what it seemed like. Bart came out of this was like, yeah, it was a bad idea, but he could have been like, Russo, you motherfucker, why? I mean, Russo looked back on it now and he's like, yeah, it was a bad idea. We just didn't know how bad of an idea it was gonna be. You're trying to do extreme, like they said. Yeah, he came from the JBL wanting to get, or wanting JBL to get his ass kicked, and that was like the dark root of the whole thing. But when they were booking shit back then, they said they would put on Jerry Springer and get all these ideas from watching Jerry Springer because that was the hottest shit back then. That's how they booked Raw because it was just insanity back then. And tits and relationships and all that kind of stuff. And hey, let's sprinkle in some wrestling. It's oh God, 5 years later, you couldn't even say wrestling. How messed up is that? World Wrestling Entertainment, but don't say the name of the company. God. And you do drug tests on the wrestlers. Starting to come real clear now. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, this was jaw dropping entertaining because you're looking at all. I wish they would have went into a little more. The only constructive. Yeah, wow, it's late. The only constructive criticism I have on this whole thing, it was great, entertaining start to finish. I just wish they went into a little more of the individual, um, like a few more names that were involved in this. But I understand they had 45 minutes to cram 2 months worth of fights in, and they could only pick like the semifinalists to talk about the guys that went all the way through and whatever. All right, let's jump back in here real quick. JR was responsible for signing his friend Dr. Death Williams. Has always been JR's boy, so he was in line for a force force massive push based on his reputation in all Japan. Yeah, there you go. Vince McMahon first saw draws. He said, "This guy's gonna." That's from the Beyond. That's from that documentary that came out back then. The Rock's in there, Mankind's in there. Really bad in bad shape. Jake Roberts is in there. That's that special one, Beyond the Ring, whatever it's called. They showed that little clip of Droz. He's gonna puke. That's from. I saw that in there, and I'm like, who's this guy? Because I didn't watch that back then. It all comes full circle now. I'm like, that's him. That's puke. Oh my god, crazy. Felt bad for Droz because he looked ready for a massive push at Albert heavily in the film Beyond the Mat. Yeah, exactly. He seemed like he was going to be a star. As weird as that was, it's like, and then Tommy Dreamer got the gimmick later. I don't know. It was weird, It was that 5 years later, Tommy Dreamer got the same gimmick in ECW. Poor guy. I still love and respect him, but geez Louise. Even watching that live back then, I'm like, oh my God, what a train wreck. D'Lo Brown versus Droz match happened on an episode of SmackDown 1999, but WWE has tried their best to never bring up or show the match. Yeah, heaven forbid you throw the guy in the Hall of Fame and throw him a few bucks. Bodacious Bart and the new Midnight Express. Oh yeah, he did mention the Midnight Express. I was like, what the heck? I'm thinking of the first one, of course. Bart got into somewhat of a tough guy gimmick in TNA, feuding with Perry Saturn. Oh my God, I did not know that. What year was that? I gotta look that up. That's crazy. Perry Saturn's in such bad shape now, poor guy. So, Check was snorting cocaine in one episode, and the next one, Godfather's smoking weed. I'm sensing a theme here. Back then, no shit. It was pretty, yeah. Parker was, yeah. I'm like, what? Well, like, I just learned recently that, Raven and Vampiro had a feud in TNA. I'm like, what? Oh my God, I can't wait to see this. Imagine Russo versus Cornette in a brawl. Oh, dear God. I really don't know who would win that one. It would just be like the most ridiculous, ugly cat fight ever. What's up, J-Bone? God. After 3 weeks being sick. Good, man. Glad you're finally able to do that. That's awesome. Hope you're back to 100% and all is well for you, dude. That's awesome. TNA a month, and it's his only match. Just say he lost to Saturn? Oh, poor son of a bitch. 2003? Oh, wow. So that's coming up, eh? Wow. JBL knockout was funny, lol. Clockwood 91. Thanks for joining. The name does not sound familiar. Steve Richards hit JBL in the head with a steel chair. Gave him a concussion. Oh, that's some payback right there. My goodness. Steve Blackman Bob Holly, Road Warrior Hawk are legit tough guys, but we're constrained by the unpredictable rules you figure aside from the takedown rule Mark Merrill would have been suited for. You know what? You know what I was thinking legit while I was watching this? I was like, man, I should find this on the network and like review the Brawl for All match for match. Like I would love to do that. Just do like a live watch along. Be like, okay, now here comes so and so versus so and so, and just watch the train wreck and just react to it. I'd probably fall out of my chair more times than I could count on my fingers from laughing so hard. That's really freaking tempting. I wonder if anybody's ever done that. Because knowing my crazy ass, I'd probably do it. He came in and knocked out Saturn. That's how that started. Oh, jeez. Hey, it's got to start somewhere, right? That's nuts. Um, so yeah, they said Severn dropped out. Bart beat Bob Holly. Oh, and they were tag partners. That's crazy. Um, Bart talked a lot about how he um, was bullied growing up, and and then he related that to like getting picked on in the locker room. It's like, God, that sucks. You know, you're X amount of years old later, 10 whatever years later, and here you're getting this shit again. I was talking about this the other day. People do this to you on here on social media and shit. It's like, God, what is wrong with people? It's crazy. How do you think WWE will get back to the Attitude Era with the Reigns? They'll never go back, dude. Nah. They can get a little edgy here and there, but it always screws up. They always do some weird stuff. It's like what happened? Alexa Bliss lost the top, and people looked at it like that's just stupid. That's not going to earn ratings. That had no place in there. Like someone walked in, her top fell off. She went like this, and people went, "Are you stupid? What the hell was that?" No, they're not. No, it's no, because the entertainment industry had that Jerry Springer attitude back then. In this episode, I think it's either Cornette, Russo, Ross or Russo mentioned how Pritchard was a backstabber in the episode. Oh yeah, they said something like that. And it's K Lockwood 91. K first name Lockwood, last name 91 year born. Oh, K Lockwood. Oh, okay. I'll call you when I see it from now on. I'll try to say Lockwood, not Clockwood. You understand what it looks like. It's you're probably when you made it, you were probably like, no one's gonna say Clockwood. All right, all good. Nice to meet you, K Lockwood 91. All right, we got it now. We got it. Just so you know, certain guys got hurt or quit, and you may see last week's loser continue on to the next round, and it gets confusing. Ah, nice. That's tremendous. That makes me not want to. I will. I will leave scumbag alone. What? Did I miss something? Scrolling up. I don't know where that came from, Zach. I don't know what that is. Cornette was managing Bart and Bob as the new Midnight Express during that time when they had NWA champions coming through WWF. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, and didn't they have like the Rock and Roll Express come through for a little bit, real quick during something back then too? Something like that. Turn sub J Bone, Andre Corbeil subscribe. What? Sup J Bone, Andre Corbeil subscribed to my YouTube channel. Oh, okay, that's good. I don't know who you are. Are you like some guy on his channel or something? I don't know. WWF Creative, welcome, welcome, Hunt. WWF Creative wanted Dan Severn to join Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. Oh my God, that would have been crazy. And wanted him to tattoo the number 666 on his body, but he refused. Oh my God. These are great stories. Like I wasn't watching back then. I had no reason to because all my faves were in WCW. And so I hear things like this and I'm like, oh my God, what this is crazy. It's hilarious. PG era killed it. And he got funny people like Holland Nash and people don't got charisma. Well, yeah, it's all different, man. It's all presented different. The whole thing is different. Yeah. What favorite episode in the series so far? Oh man, probably Randy Savage is probably the one I enjoyed the most because I probably miss him the most. I'd have to go back. Bruiser Brody was pretty good too. You want to hear some good stories? Go to Front Row Material, hosted by Mike Freeland on the MLW radio with Jerry Lynn and Mickey Whipwreck. Mickey, I never know which one it is. Mikey Whipwreck. Um, their last one, they were interviewing the producers from the show, and they got a story about Abdullah the Butcher from last season on there. It's great stuff. Go check it out. Front Row Material. Great podcast. Love it. So funny. You were talking about picking on people. Oh, you can leave Scumbag. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, if anybody's going to rip Scumbag, let us do it because he's our boy. Yeah. If you like MMA train wrecks, you should check out for pure absurdity, right? The next episode involves Jimmy Snuka, so don't expect to see Rikishi or the Usos or Tamina anywhere near the episode. No, that would be tough. I don't imagine that. But one of those Samoan guys from back in the day, one of the Afas, I think it is. No, probably not one of the Afas. It's someone from back then is on it. I don't know who it was. But no, I don't imagine. Can't imagine. And Tamina just came back too. So now she comes back. She's getting attention. Now she's got to see this come out. That can't be easy. So, yeah, very controversial subject. Did he do it? Did he not do it? Um, there's going to be all sorts of sides, you know. And now he's dead. And they tried to convict him right before his death. And I even talked about that right before his death. It's like, what are you doing? A little late. You know? Jeez. And what's wrong with people? So I'm going to be nicer to Kyle. Thank you, Zach. Turn over a new leaf. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Rock and Rolls came through feuding with Heavenly Bodies during the WWE and SMW partnership. Then in 97, 98, they came back as NWA champions and Cornette as their manager. Interesting. Huh. Dan Severn almost went into the 99 Royal Rumble match and legitimately lose to bigger people. Jeez. Oh, better question is, does it matter anymore? The man's no longer with us. Yeah, right. I mean, it's it's different when they're gone. So yeah, people look at it a little differently, but there's going to be different sides to every story, no matter what, whether they're here or not. you know, um, if he was still here, I'm sure they would have talked to him. You know, depending on his state of mind and everything. But so but yeah, this I absolutely loved this. It makes me want to watch them just for the train wreck of it. Um, Thank you for anyone who came in so late. If you're new here, please consider smashing that like button and smashing that sub button. Hey, we got some likes. That's awesome. Um, and like I said earlier today, wow, the third show I did in like 6 hours. This is ridiculous. Um, the new merch link is in the description. Go check it out. Go get you some fresh merch from What For Apparel. Help support the brand. Um, Much love, everyone. So tomorrow looks like we're gonna do, or later today now, whatever. Thursday night we're gonna do another throwback over on the TNI brand. I'm losing track of numbers. I gotta see what number we're doing so I know what the hell I'm producing tomorrow. So I'll be watching that in the morning. Oh, what's this? Who would you announce to be in the next WWE Hall of Fame? I don't know who is in like most of the class for this one. I heard British Bulldog is in. I know NWO is in. I tell you what, after watching this special, I'd put in half of these guys. Um, I would take out JBL. Um, because I can't stand him. um, I would rather put in the APA as a tag team than see JBL go in single. You know, but I shouldn't say that because that's probably what they're going to do to Christian someday. They're going to put him in and put in Edge as a double guy, so then the Edge and Christian will be in together. Uh, I'd put Draws in to show him some respect before the man kicks the bucket because it's been 20 plus years. Because I don't think, or is he already in? And I don't know because I mean, there's like decades of Hall of Famers and I don't know half of them. I probably know most of them because you hear about names that are Hall of Famers, you just don't remember what year they went in. Um, so if he is in, someone correct me, but I didn't think he was in. Um, they should do a special on who really killed WCW. Oh, there's been books and everything about that. Simmons deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame just based on his work and accomplishment. Oh, Ron Simmons? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He was around long before JBL. What topic do you think should be in a future episode of the possible season 3? Oh man, I know people were coming up with stuff from season 2 back in season 1. Um, the one I keep hearing is, and they're probably going to do it, is China. China. They should do maybe a few more with the women. Maybe do Ashley Massaro. She just passed. They should do one on I was going to say Piper, but man, he was such a loved guy, and I don't think he was that controversial, was he? I mean, he was a bad guy, he was a heel, but he was loved and respected, you know. So I don't know if they could really do a dark side of the ring on him. Um, I suppose you could do a dark side of the ring on any of them, but it's usually for people that have passed, but they're doing controversy. It doesn't have to be about people that are dead. They did New Jack. Um, I don't know. I have to think more about it. Let me get into a few more episodes of the season. I'll probably have a better clue. Simmons is already in. No, I knew Ron was. Ron went in way before JBL. I knew that. 2012, yeah. Do you think there'll be an episode involving something that happened in TNA? Oh, like the mishandlings of the company from years ago, maybe? I don't know. Sonny and Chris Candido. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I don't know. Oof. You'd have to get Lance Storm in on that one. Um, could probably do a bunch of stuff on like crazy shit that happened in AAA. You know, there's always controversial shit that happened in AAA and wrestlers and whatever. Um, Hulk and Eric in TNA. I don't know if that'd be a dark side of the ring. That's more people didn't like the booking. You know, I don't know. Maybe if they start running out of shit, they could do one on that. Wait till Hulk doesn't look quite as intimidating because he still looks intimidating to me. He's just a little maybe a little slower now after he had that 12-hour back surgery a few months ago. And the guy still wants to wrestle. What a crazy son of a bitch. Gotta love him. All right. I'm gonna get out of here because now I'm just rambling. I didn't think this would go this long, but that's all right. Thank you for everyone who joined in this late. On your way out, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen. So we got this one done. There's a couple WWE specials I saw that I was watching bits and pieces of right around the weekend during coming in and out of WrestleMania stuff. That special on Edge, did I watch the whole thing? I forget. There's a special on Edge. I know there's a special on. Oh, there's a few of them. I want to watch the Stone Cold interviews. I don't know how many I'm gonna like. How many of these things I'm gonna review on here, but the Edge special. That was for what I watched of it so far. Very good. I might do a review on that. Because I'm not watching a lot of the daily product. Mania was okay for what it was worth. But I'm more interested, honestly, in their specials that they have on there and watching the classic stuff than the newer stuff. So I'm trying to get my money's worth out of it in the review shit on here. So watch for that. And God, there was something else. I forget. Oh, probably gonna touch on that last ride, first look. That looks very interesting. The Undertaker special. So yeah, watch for all that stuff. Mandy and Otis are together, celebrate. Best part of Mania. The guy gets the girl. Can't beat that, right? Love wins. Love wins in the end, and we got to celebrate that because that's what we celebrate right here on Smash This Podcast. All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow over on TNI for another throwback. Be there.